Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys Jerry makes major mistake in Micah contract talks. Dallas Cowboys star linebacker Micah Parsons has a plan. And he has some questions. And on Friday night at the college football playoff game between Texas and Ohio State at AT&T Stadium, we're told, he talked deep into the night with team owner Jerry Jones about all of it. That's the good news. Parsons intends to get the lay of the entire land when it comes to Jerry's plans for 2025, and he wishes to be a part of the America's team solution. Where do we see us going? How can we become contenders? How do we bounce back from this year? What are the plans? Micah told us about his discussion items going into the visit in a suite at the stadium. Those are the type things that I would ask. I hope he asks me things, too. We hope something in particular came up in conversation, because as it stands now, per our face-to-face conversation with Jones, the owner is poised to make a major mistake when it comes to his contract negotiations with Parsons, who is due for a contract extension that could make him the highest-paid non-QB in the history of the NFL. A central issue for Parsons is about how he might massage his contract in order to help with the roster build and the cap. Parsons specifically noted, "I don't want to hold nobody up. I want to see some of these guys back in the locker room. We have a great opportunity. I want to see change. I want to see players here. I want to be as aggressive as we can be. I don't want to be a headache to nobody. I want to be as aggressive as possible. This is where I want to be." That is his way of making a peace offering here. Sign early, and maybe for less than the rumored $40 million per year. But Jerry is insisting that timing is irrelevant. He's flat wrong. You know, everybody puts a lot on when the contract is done, Jones told us recently. My point is no, it does not. And a lot of us live not having all the things buttoned up. And so I don't believe the timing is an issue. What I would really hang your hat on is how much we paid him and what he needs to be and what he is. That's the big thing. I know I've got people disagreeing with me, Jones added. Well, yes, Jerry. Because you are wrong. With his fifth-year option presently on the 2025 books, Parsons is set to make $21.324 million. According to our calculations, a long-term contract done just right can cut that 2025 cap impact in half. Do that soon, before March 2025, when free agency opens and Dallas has another $10 million to spend. Cowboys source reveals RB signing to compete with Rico. The running back room entering the 2025 season for the Dallas Cowboys is about to be in a state of flux. Just as it was a year ago. Remember? Tony Pollard left for the Tennessee Titans, Ezekiel Elliott returned to lead the room, Derrick Henry never got that phone call, and the NFL draft never fell just right to pick the next star. So Zeke and Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn were going to handle Dallas running back by committee approach. Even Dalvin Cook was signed to the practice squad, played 2 games, and didn't see the field again. The committee approach was shelved in Week 12, Rico was handed the keys and the Cowboys' offense found some semblance of a run game behind Dowdle, as he surpassed 1,000 rushing yards for the year, becoming the first undrafted back in franchise history to achieve the feat. So, as Cowboys fans are all wondering the same thing about adding backs in 2025, we keep an eye on ideas like Ashton Jeanty in the NFL draft and on a trade for a player like Breece Hall of the New York Jets. And we think is worthy to note that a Cowboys source tells us that Malik Davis is coming back for another go-around, having signed a futures deal here. Davis, in the eyes of Dallas, has talent, and so after he went undrafted in 2022 and hooked on here, he keeps making the practice squad. And his rookie year, Davis was called up to be the number 3 back for the Cowboys for a short time and he totaled 161 yards on 38 carries. He did not get a crack on the 53-man roster at all this year. But he's hanging around, maybe in part because Rico, who had 1,079 rushing yards, including 4 100-plus yard efforts in his last 6 games, plus 249 yards and 3 touchdowns as a receiver, is now a free agent. Cowboys' $40 million captain could be targeted by arch-rival in free agency. For the Dallas Cowboys, the long list of requirements for this offseason, and the importance of those items at the top of the list, will surely obscure some of the lower-level needs the team has. While a contract for Micah Parsons and a decision on the future of coach Mike McCarthy, or a new coach, if need be, are the looming issues, one of the lesser-discussed problems is the potential departure of defensive lineman Demarcus Lawrence. A foot injury held Lawrence out after Week 4, one of many injuries that torpedoed the Cowboys' season. But he has been a stalwart on the defense in Dallas, long before Parsons' arrival. Lawrence has starred at defensive end for the Cowboys for 11 seasons, and has 4 Pro Bowl selections to his credit. He has made 61.5 sacks in 141 games played. Lawrence will be a free agent, coming off the final year of a 3-year, $40 million contract he signed in 2022. He was excellent in 2023, posting a Pro Football Focus grade of 91, number 8 in the NFL among all pass rushers. But he will be 33 in April, and the Cowboys have been looking to get younger across the board. That means we may have seen the last of the venerable lineman in a Cowboys uniform. And Pro Football Focus projects him to potentially land with perhaps the last team Cowboys fans would like to see, the Commanders. In an article titled, "One Free Agent Every NFL Team Should Pursue in 2025, PFF's Bradley Locker writes that former Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, now the head coach in Washington, could target Lawrence this winter. Lawrence is in the final year of a 3-year, $40 million contract. Even as the Commanders surged past all expectations to a playoff berth this season, their defense needs legitimate upgrades across the board. That rings true along the defensive front. Lawrence was sidelined for most of 2024 due to a foot injury, but the 32-year-old was sensational in 2023. To illustrate how well-rounded Lawrence's game is, he was one of 3 players with a 91.0+ pass rushing grade and a 79.0+ run defense grade. Reuniting with Dan Quinn to beef up the Commanders' pass rush and run defense would be a perfect fit. It's true that the Cowboys may get younger along the defensive front. But the hope would be that, if Lawrence leaves, he lands anywhere but Washington. Okay, maybe not Philly either. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Demarcus Lawrence? Leave your opinion in the comments.